Alrighty. So hello, everybody. This is our first HubSpot user group. While I let some people of you already come in, I'll just give a brief introduction. And yeah, I'm Sebastian, the founder, CEO of Made to Grow. There are more people coming in. Perfect. And this is our very, very first HubSpot user group in 2024. And it's I would say, a little special one because first of all, it's in English. And hello, everybody. We have guests from overseas, which is actually, I would say, the reason why it's in English. But obviously, we also like to be international. And we also have a new colleague, Zach, who is in here as well. And you are also from overseas, but arrived in traditional conservative country town in good old Germany, in Cochem. If you don't know what Cochem is, take a look at Zach's latest photo post on LinkedIn. That's how Cochem looks like. A river, a small town, and a little hill, and on top a little castle. That's how Germany is, right? Yeah, almost. So we'll just give everybody, all the rest who also wanted to join, a few more minutes, and then we'll run into our today's topic, which is HubSpot CMS. By the way, the video or the GIF you see at the background over here is Lenkars, which I saw once, I don't know, 10 years ago, in a presentation, and the guy said this is actually a website which is supposed to be very successful, but doesn't take any recommendation of good web design. So whenever you wonder, this is Linkcars, linkcars.co.uk, as far as I remember. Buy a car and yeah, appreciate what Link is doing on this website. Alrighty, I would say, because we have a pretty full agenda for today, let's jump in and see what's out there. Yeah, Zach already mentioned it in the chat. If you have any questions along our presentation, along our schedule today, please step in, write in the chat, and either Zach or me or our guests will come in and answer your questions. So let's see what we have out there. This is us. Me, our colleague Alex, and Zach. We are out there over 6 years now as a HubSpot partner. We finished off 100 HubSpot projects. We are a platinum partner, and I'm a certified HubSpot trainer, and sometimes also out there on the HubSpot Academy. This is our agenda. Our first point will be what sets HubSpot CMS apart from others. Second, custom coding versus templates. And then we'll take a brief look in our approach, and then we should have a bit of time of Q&A. I guess that the hour is over then, but whenever you have further questions, we can also stay in the user group in the webinar for a bit longer if you want to. Alrighty, so let's see what our first point gives us, what sets HubSpot CMS apart from others. Obviously, CMS is a very, very wide area, and we know that there are a couple of different CMS packages in HubSpot CMS, which is Starter, which is Professional, and Enterprise. We want to start with Starter first of all, and then we want to compare to others as well. For those who do not mute themselves, please do so, so we have a perfect understanding of ourselves. Thank you very much. So first of all, CMS Starter, which is a pretty cheap package actually, and is also included in the Starter suite, which is, I think, just around 20 to 30 euros a month. And you get CMS Starter included in it with all of the other hubs, so pretty cheap, I would say. What many people do not know is that there's actually already different language variations included. That you get a perfect content delivery network with Cloudflare. You get SEO basic recommendations, which is usually fine for those who want to use it. You get one blog, you get a limit of 50 website pages, and one subdomain. Just a little tip of myself, a little best practice, I would say. Whenever you run into the threshold of these 50 website pages, sometimes it's also fine to use landing pages instead, and don't use it as landing pages, but kind of scale whatever pages you want to have. For example, if you want to set up a glossary or something like that, you can do it either in a blog or also in a landing page infrastructure. So you kind of avoid running through the limit of 50 website pages. And what's about professional CMS professional, which is then, I would say, really the professional solution? What do you get is A/B testing and smart content. A/B testing is a very, very helpful way to improve your conversion rate optimization, for example. So whenever you wonder, okay, I want to be sure that out there is a landing page or a website with a form, and you want to make sure that everybody or more people run into that form, you can use A/B testing very professionally. The other part, smart content, is also actually something which I like very much. Sometimes it's a little not sure how much how much smart content you can use, because there are sometimes cookies involved, etc., etc. But for example, if you think of anonymous, could you please mute yourself? Thank you very much. If you want to show a different version of the website for anonymous website visitors to those who are already marketing qualified lead or those who are already sales qualified lead, that's something which actually makes a lot of sense. The other one is staging, content staging, also something which you're probably aware of. If you don't want to work on a website which is already out there, you can use content staging and improve it accordingly. Then advanced SEO recommendations, which is already quite a lot, actually, if you compare it to other equally professional tools like SEMrush or Sistrix or any tools like these. These are very, very professional and also make a good differentiation between marketer SEO optimizations or recommendations and those who are more technically. Blocks are then upgraded to 100 blocks or 10,000 website pages, and you have no limit to subdomains. And those who are really, really into enterprise, upmarket CMS features, you get adaptive tests, which is up to 5 variants simultaneously. You can create custom events in order to make sure that you understand if some minor steps, micro steps are included. You get a single sign-on for users. And which is also something usually more interesting to enterprises, bigger companies, is you can host up to 10 root domains. So if you have more than one company, or if you have a bigger company, a parent-child company, and you want to make sure to include this, you can use CMS Enterprise. Obviously, then just like any other enterprise hub, you can create custom objects, which is also sometimes quite interesting if you have already a set of hubs within HubSpot. CMS Enterprise brings custom objects along, and then you also get an analysis of your website performance as well. All right, if there are no questions yet, I would come to the next point, to the first comparison, actually, HubSpot versus WordPress. So probably those who already use WordPress or used it in the past, I think for the European market and also on the worldwide scale, it's obviously one of the most common used CMS. And it's actually something which usually many companies or also smaller, bigger ones start with. But there's obviously one thing which comes along with WordPress, and we used it at the very start of our own company as well. And I think everybody knows this pain when you think of updating WordPress or taking a look at plugins. Obviously, plugins are very, very important when you think of WordPress, right? So the first thing usually is we also come to the price comparison in a minute. But one thing which some people take a look at is, okay, WordPress is for free, which is actually not really the case because you can't run WordPress with a good hosting, for example, etc. And if you want to work with it professionally, you obviously need also a couple of plugins, which are usually also not for free if you want to arrive at a certain state, at a certain professional state. So whenever you have these updates for WordPress itself or for the plugins, you're usually quite uneasy and don't know what that actually means for your website. Is the template still there? Do the plugins in comparison to all of the other plugins also work? Or is there anything you have to fix afterwards? So if we compare it directly to HubSpot CMS, as I said already, the cost for WordPress, I would say, increase kind of dynamically, I would say, because if you need a good hosting, if you need a worldwide hosting, if you need SEO, if you need, I don't know, any other thing you want to have, then it's actually something which also arrives at a cost area where HubSpot actually is. Compared to WordPress, HubSpot CMS basically has no real updates or updates concerning plugins or the CMS system itself. There's actually nothing to be worrying about, right? The hosting obviously is also very different because you only have this one hosting for HubSpot CMS, and in WordPress you have a very, very huge area of choices. You could actually do something like, okay, I want to have a German-based hosting, I want a European-based, I want a worldwide-based hosting, which is also supposed to scale whenever there's more traffic on the website, etc., etc. So things like that also have to be included if you think of WordPress. So in WordPress, you have a pretty free choice, but you also have to be aware what that actually means, right? Safety in HubSpot CMS, there's a dedicated 24/7 security team. And WordPress, it actually depends, right? Depends on your choice, and you have to make sure that this choice is taken well. And if you don't know what to choose, then you actually have to rely on your service provider, on your agency, or whoever. If we take personalization into account, as I said, smart content is already out there. If you have CMS Professional in WordPress, if personalization is something you want to do, then you usually take tools like VWO, for example, or others, but these also obviously have their costs. And also, as I said, SEO is not kind of included. It is built in WordPress because you get the recommendations what to do or how long your description is or your meta title or whatsoever. In HubSpot, it's actually also built in, and it's this, I would say, approach, all-inclusive approach that you have it on the website you're already creating, and also built in to create pillar pages, for example, to have this connection inside of your websites as well. All right, I already see there's a little discussion going on in the chat. Perfect. Thank you very much for stepping in, Kevin. And if there are any other questions, Zach, you just shout out and I will try to answer it. Otherwise, I will just go one step further. All right, cool. So the next one on our comparison list is Typo 3. And from a German or maybe also European point of view, Typo 3 is a pretty, I would say, mid-market, upmarket CMS, which I see quite often still. The reasons are, I would say, because it has its credibility built up, and many agencies also use it just because they used it in the past, and it's also quite flexible. However, from a marketer's point of view, I sometimes felt in the past like that one, us explaining Woody the pros and cons for Typo 3, and Woody, being the marketer, actually doesn't quite understand what that means and just figures out, okay, I won't be able to do anything in Typo 3 because I don't like the usability, the UX, the design, and whatsoever. So this is just how it is. And basically, if we take into account a couple of similar points to compare, it's actually quite the same. If we compare the costs of hosting, it's also obviously something you have to take into account, which is also a little bit a little bit true for WordPress, but I would also say it's especially for Typo 3. For WordPress, you have YouTube, right? So whenever you want to do something over there, you can go to YouTube and find a good video that shows you how to do stuff. For Typo 3, I find that actually pretty hard because the community is not that large. Also, WordPress or Typo 3 themselves do not have a academy like HubSpot has. So if you are not into these into this CMS Typo 3, it might be actually quite hard to do stuff if you're not aware how to do it. And then, as I said, usability, Typo 3, I would still say is mainly created for developers and actually something which maybe contradicts how we as marketers or as the person who wants to check the website and wants to create it, optimize it. So that's just something I rather would see on the con side. And if we also, apart from the training, take a look at the support, this is also something which I always find very, very helpful and very beneficial, is that HubSpot actually has a very, very responsive and helpful support, be it via chat, telephone, or email, depending on the structure you build up or on the service provider area. You might also have somebody to contact quite frequently, but obviously if you need it, then it might just take a while. Personalization, SEO, I would say, are almost the same like for WordPress if we compare these tools. But whenever I also worked in Typo 3 environments, especially for SEO, I usually found it pretty hard to find a plugin or an environment where I really like to work with SEO recommendations and SEO ways to improve your website's performance. If we compare others like Drupal, for example, or other CMS systems like, I don't know, Contao, Wix, Webflow, or whatsoever, I usually would recommend to take a really deeper look, because sometimes these CMS might be interesting, but in the end, if you already use HubSpot, I would actually always go for HubSpot CMS, because I don't find any reason, maybe apart from a personal UX preference, that something else like HubSpot CMS actually would make sense. But also for those who already have something in HubSpot, I would also just try to figure out if a launch, maybe just a simple copy of the existing non-HubSpot CMS website would make sense, because it's actually so beneficial and so many side effects come into mind that it's actually not that important or necessary to have another CMS than HubSpot actually. Alrighty. Then I would probably already take a look into our second topic for today, which is custom coded versus template. There are obviously some reasons why custom coded solutions can be more useful for you personally or for you as a company. But what I actually would like to try today is to take a look at what kind of templates are out there. And that's why Bradley is here from Sprocket Rocket and Kevin from Clean. And you two will shortly show your templates, your themes. But before that, I would like to take a view on our view on templates and custom coded solution. What I can actually not really recommend is to think of a completely custom coded solution, only if all of the existing features for HubSpot CMS are really also used. But what we also recently, but also a little bit further in the past, saw are custom coded solutions in HubSpot CMS, and this actually almost always didn't really make use of the features that HubSpot CMS brings, be it A/B testing, be it smart content, be it multi-language variations or whatsoever. And that's actually something apart from the designed for marketers approach of HubSpot, but this is actually something which I find pretty sad, because in the end, HubSpot CMS wants to be a marketers CMS on the first hand, but if you take a look at all the features you're already paying for, it's actually quite sad if you just because of your choice of a custom coded solution are not able to use these. Apart from that, obviously, custom coded modules, so bits and pieces of your website definitely make sense, because they can enrich your website, they can enhance it, they can add certain functionalities which are beneficial to those who want to use the website. But in the end, this is something which is, I would say, always possible, right? So if you want to do something which is supposed to improve your website, go ahead, talk to a developer, talk to anybody who knows HubSpot CMS, who knows CSS, HTML, whatsoever, and yeah, go for it. If we take a look at templates, I can actually also recommend to take a look at certain things within the marketplace. So whenever you're looking out for a template, I would go for numbers of installs, recommendations, and also previews. So usually if you I wouldn't take a look at price. Actually, that's maybe something I can definitely recommend, because those who are free are obviously free for a reason. Sometimes they are the number of modules, the number of layouts is obviously pretty small. If that's okay for you, go for it. But other than that, I can definitely take a look at these three factors, and if the overall experience and preview is fine, then I can only recommend to go for it. Still, obviously, there are quite a number of templates available, HubSpot web designs available, and two we worked with very often is Clean and Sprocket Rocket, and that's the reason why I introduced or asked you two, Kevin, and you, Bradley, to come and join. And as I said at the beginning, I'm very glad and very thankful that you two are here. I know it's very early on your end, and if it's fine for you, Kevin, I would start with you to give you the ability, the chance to show Clean from the inside and show us what's actually out there.
Awesome, Sebastian. Thanks so much. If you want to go ahead and stop sharing your screen, because I'm going to share my screen in just a moment, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
First, before I begin, what's up, Lars? What's up, Sarah? Hi, Malika, Lily Francesca, Miles, AJ, Francois. I really appreciate you being here, and all the others that I didn't mention. One quick thing before I kind of jump into giving you a bit of a demo of Clean and a small lesson. I would really love, and I just popped this into the chat, I want to understand kind of each of your roles. Are you a marketer? Are you an entrepreneur, designer, undercover superhero, or other? If you could just quickly respond in the chat with a number, just so I have a real clear sense of who you all are, and I can speak a little bit more to your role. Danny, awesome. I love that you're already using Clean Pro. That's fantastic. Lily, sales, that's one I forgot. Awesome. Very cool. Vernon, marketer, love it. You're in the right place. Who else do we have here? I just want to spend a couple more seconds kind of going through this. There's a lot more of you in here. Sales, Oliver, awesome. Britta, you're a marketer, fantastic. EA at HubSpot, nice, Paul, right on. I'm glad to have you here. Melina, more salespeople, fantastic. customer success. Nice. We got some HubSpot folks in here. I love that. Okay, cool. Keep responding, please. This is already helpful to know where a lot of you already are. The one thing I'll do right now is I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen, and I want to talk you all through a bit of a demo leveraging HubSpot and or the Clean Pro theme. And let me just move this right around here. And let me make sure I can still see the chat. So the one thing that I will kind of walk you through in terms of Clean, but more importantly, as you're working with your marketing team, an agency like Sebastian's or anything, the one common thing that I would love to share with you as part of my demo is the very simple secret sauce to a killer landing page and or homepage that for all you salespeople will help you either gather leads. For all you marketers out there, it's going to really help you, well, empower your sales team to close those deals or have people sign up for your product. And while I'll walk you through a little bit of that here, the way that I break this down is your homepage or your landing pages should do 3 core things in 7 seconds. This is what I call the 7-second challenge. And it's easy to remember because it's the WWW challenge. And so what I mean by that is, as we see right here, the first question that any good homepage should offer or say is who this product is for. So for example, right up here, Clean Pro is for founders, it's for entrepreneurs, it's for marketers. So that is the who of this. The next one would be, what does your product or service do? And so this is where we're going to jump into the demo a little bit. And one of the things that makes HubSpot, Clean Pro, and I'll say Sprocket Rocket really powerful is the easy ability to come in and just find a section like, okay, we want to talk about what our product does. So we'll look for features. Cool, we have this little section that we can just easily drag and drop right into place. That would essentially give us some feature control of what our product does. Now, the cool thing about Clean and how I've structured this is as you drop in these modules, let's just say, for example, you know what? I don't have 4 features. Let's just cruise right under here and we'll change this to, I have 3 main features. And now I can jump in and modify each of these to showcase exactly what my feature is. So that's the W of like what it is that your product, your service actually offers. Now, the other W, the last W that I'll say is probably one of the most important things. And Sebastian just alluded to this a little bit when he was looking, or when he was talking about the HubSpot marketplace and looking at installs and reviews. And that's why people should care. And so one of the things that you can do with Clean is you can start to look up social proof, is what I call it. So for example, a great social proof is throwing in a logo scroller so that people can see the clients or customers that you work with. You can come in here and throw in some more social proof that might be, let's just say, a little number counter that shows how many customers or leads or things of that nature that you actually have to prove that, well, your company is awesome. And again, bringing this back to the Clean Pro demo, the cool part about this is you can drag these elements in very easily and then just come in here and edit them. Again, like maybe I only have 2 of these and I can simply make those changes right on the fly. And that's really what's cool about tech these days. HubSpot and a premium theme like Clean Pro or even like Sprocket Rocket, which Bradley will demo for you in just a moment. It's putting the power back in the hands of all you marketers. So when all you salespeople, get with your marketing team, you're like, listen, we need to do something here. You can do it on the fly without largely involving any developer time, having an outside developer, and so on. So Clean Pro is meant to be completely modular in the way that you can drag and drop. And it goes a lot deeper in here in terms of what you can actually customize. But since I only have a short amount of time, I really want to just pause there and see if anyone has any questions. And I'm looking at the chat right now. So Danny, yes, it is possible. Well, hold on, Danny asked, is it possible to change saved sections and the content updated in each position of the section? I wish to God. Honestly, this is a feature I've been wanting from HubSpot for quite some time. That isn't currently possible. You can save a section and then move it to other pages, but it's not a global section. Only a global module will actually be able to do that for you. Great question. Honestly, great question. Britta, Oliver, Vernon, Sarah, any other questions that I can quickly answer for you before I need to pass the mic over to Bradley?
By the way, we can also make a list for all the features we are hoping to see soon in the HubSpot CMS and send it over to HubSpot all by ourselves, sign it and say, okay, this is our features list. Please do it by, I don't know, next week or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just going to round out, my little tutorial, and that is honestly, whenever you're thinking about these pages, do not overlook that 7-second rule that I was talking about. And I would even encourage you, if you do have people on your team or outside of your team, literally grab your phone if you're working on a page, give them 7 seconds to scroll up and down the page, and then ask them, who is this for? What does it do? And why should you care? And literally just have them answer it. And that's going to tell you a whole lot about the page layout and how you can quickly then edit it or optimize it so that you can communicate that point. Because at the end of the day, we all live in the attention economy as it is, and our attention is very fleeting. So we want to make sure that we can capture that attention from our viewers and our potential customers as quickly as possible. That's all I got. I think that's 8 minutes. Sebastian, do you have any
Perfect.
things that you think I should talk about or
Well, we also have time at the end for our Q&A or FAQ or whatsoever. And I would say, if that's fine for you, Bradley, I would give you the stage.
Yes, thank you,
And
Sebastian.
go ahead.
So hello, everybody. My name is Bradley Haveman. I am a developer at Sprocket Rocket. And yeah, I'm just going to share my screen and give you a quick demo. So first things first, what is Sprocket Rocket? At the root of it, Sprocket Rocket's just a HubSpot theme, but there's a couple other things to it. We have a pattern library of over 150 different modules that you can choose from. And there's kind of two different ways you can get started with Sprocket Rocket. We have an application that works with HubSpot where we have our own drag and drop builder, and you can manage all your theme files and website pages and stuff within our app. And then you also have the marketplace. So we have a free theme, and then we have Sprocket Rocket Core, which is a paid marketplace theme. And with our app, we also have a free version, and then we have a pro version. And the pro version is nice too because it comes with our Figma file that you can kind of use to quickly wireframe out your pages before you build them, edit the content, edit the design, and then you can send to your client or whoever for approval. So we have this Figma file with all our 150 so modules, so you can, like I said, easily drag this into your thing and edit them from there. The other thing that we have within our application is our own kind of drag and drop builder. And we like this for a couple of reasons versus the HubSpot builder. HubSpot one, you just kind of get this list of modules and you have no idea what they look like. There's this section thing, which is kind of a newer feature, which you can kind of see a preview. But with this, kind of just have to drag it in to see what it looks like. And then with our builder, we have this preview thing, and it's kind of a lot faster to, rapidly, we like to say prototype out pages or wireframe. And then once you're done with that, you can give it a name, and actually deploy that to HubSpot, and then make all your edits there. So what I'm going to do is kind of walk through what we did for one of our clients. So we have this client called Market POS. And then so our designer came in here and would use our Figma file, design out this website for them using these modules as a base, but then updating the styles. And then so once this is approved, you can kind of you can install Sprocket Rocket, you can set up your theme settings and all that kind of stuff. And then you can kind of quickly build out your page. So we want some to-call modules. And then we're going to add this page right to our website. And what I've already done beforehand is set up my theme styles and set up my header and footer. So once I click into this, you're going to notice that all those styles have already applied to those modules. So we got their header, we got their footer, and the styles. Now, obviously, to build this page, it's going to take a lot more than just doing that, because you have to fill out all the content. But this lets you quickly prototype pages, deploy them in HubSpot, and get them, get your theme settings applied to them right away. Now that I'm here, I'm going to quickly show you kind of a walkthrough of our modules. Most of our modules are what we call section modules. So you kind of have sections, and there's a lot of other themes that have these elements too, where you might just have a header and maybe a rich text. So you can use that as well. That is an option if you like, but we like to have these sections because it's a lot quicker, kind of like predefined layouts. So if we just come in here, let's say we want to add features, drag that in. Right, so now we have our features. We can come in here and delete the ones we don't need. And in there you can edit, your image, your header, description, and all that kind of stuff. And then each one of the modules in the style tab will have, kind of the same styles across most modules. So you can change background, you can change your container size, you can change your container width, you can change the padding. So you have all these options within our modules. So that's kind of a demo of our modules and Sprocket Rocket app. The other thing that we have within our app, and I don't have access to it on this one. Let me pull up another account. Is currently, I have so many accounts. Currently in a beta feature, so we're still testing it out. But we have implemented kind of an AI website builder into our application, because like understanding or being familiar with all 150 modules, there's quite a bit to look through. So we've developed this AI tool that will look through those modules for you and build out a page. Say we want to build a homepage for a golf company. Please include testimonials. So what this will do is look through all 150 modules, give you 3 different versions, and just build that page for you. And I can come in here and say, add a footer. I can do some follow-up prompts, and it will make those changes to my version that I'm on. So yeah, that's just a quick demo of that. This is a beta feature. So if anyone does want access, you can email us or get in contact, and we can unlock it for your account. And if you don't have an account, you can come to sprocketrocket.co, click get started, and create an account for free to get started with Sprocket Rocket app. Or you can search us in the marketplace and you can start with the marketplace. Our marketplace themes do kind of integrate with the app. So if you purchase core, you can still use that within our application. And the other thing for any agencies out there is we have an agency program that comes with a discount to our pro products. And we also do some webinar intensives, we call them, where we walk through how we build websites for clients. We walk through the process, the whole process for doing something like this for Market POS. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Thank you very much, Bradley. I also, for the first time, saw the AI feature, and it very much reminds me of what also HubSpot announced or showed at Inbound last year, which I also found very interesting. You know, as a professional or hopefully professional web designer, you always are a little bit, you know, oh God, AI doing stuff for me, is it really good? But it's actually a very good assistant, and something I think we all can use in order to save time and concentrate on the stuff where we as human beings are hopefully better than AI is at the moment, at least. So thank you very much, you two guys, for showcasing your templates. For ourselves also, one thing I also very much like, from my perspective as an agency, but also for our companies, for our projects, you have a awesome support. So Kevin, you respond, I think, personally, if you respond personally and not your bot, I think it's yeah, definitely very helpful and really on time. The documentation of you two, of these two templates is also very good. So whenever you have a question, you can take a look at the awesome documentation you have. And that's actually also one of the reasons why we like to work with Clean and Sprocket Rocket very much. So whenever you have a, yeah, also Danny says Kevin responds within a few hours. Yeah, that's actually true. If you have any questions, just type them into the chat and we can also take a look at them afterwards. What I would jump back into is our presentation and just briefly take a look at how we actually try to solve things for our customers. So here we go again. We have something which is called I would say, fast lane approach to move a current non-HubSpot CMS website to a HubSpot CMS version. So we actually try to figure out that under certain circumstances, a migration to HubSpot CMS is very much likely to be possible within 2 to 4 weeks. Obviously, there are a couple of things to take into account, to keep in mind, which is usually actually something like, okay, we basically do a copy. We don't do a rebranding. We don't develop the current website into something else. But what we can obviously do is do some minor optimizations along the way. So what actually is the case is that we take everything which is out there, put it into the design settings of your template of choice, hopefully Clean or Sprocket Rocket, and then it's already in there and we can go from there. If you are in a hurry and you need it very quickly, for example, because you have a not so easy to use CMS, or sometimes also you're already in HubSpot CMS, but you have a fully custom coded template and you can't work on it on your own, this is also something we do. Usually there are some parallel processes involved where wireframing, which is then not so important because we basically just take what is there and move it over. So there are some parallel processes concerning wireframing and development. Our customers then hopefully know that we very much like to have a very close feedback routine where we have weekly meetings, reviews, and sprint planning. And if the customer also likes to be involved in it and wants to use it after we finished the project, we also encourage them to be included within the project quite quickly, because as we saw, when you work from HubSpot CMS in the backend, it's actually also not that hard to be onboarded very quickly. Other than that, if there's no hurry, if there's no rush, we usually have certain steps in our process. There's a wireframing part where pages and designs are created. We develop everything within HubSpot. Then we do have the relaunch and also a post-launch analysis. Some things we also very much like to communicate with our customers. Sometimes I also worked in a company where I did a relaunch, and the agency back then didn't communicate that some certain changes were not included in the budget back then. And probably you know it, whenever you have more changes after a wireframing part, this can ruin the budgeting of the agency, but obviously also of the company who wants to have the new website. So what we actually always do is making kind of a signature under the first milestone, under the wireframing part, and then we go into the development. And if certain bigger changes are coming along the way, then it has to be budgeted again. This is also just something we always try to make clear. However, everything which is included in or is just a minor improvement or a little change, as HubSpot CMS and the templates we've seen are very, very much flexible. This is usually also something which can be done by the customer, him or herself. The launch actually is usually also something which is done quite quickly. If you're coming from another CMS, it's usually just a couple of minutes because you have to change some DNS settings and that's it. What is actually usually quite important and also very, very interesting is for me the post-launch analysis, because you actually always want to make sure that search engine and conversion rate optimization are also taken into account, and you don't do something like a launch and pray and hope that your new website performs better, or at least not as bad as the one before. So this is also something where we usually make some analysis at the very start in the wireframing phase. So just very quickly, I would like to show you one thing, which is actually something we always use with our customers. So here we go. This is our Miro board, and it's in German though, but I try to give you the understanding as much as I can. So whenever we don't have this 2 to 4 weeks quick project, fast lane project, we actually do a corporate identity workshop where we take into account how the brand looks at the moment and how it's supposed to look at the beginning. What I personally actually like very much is also to have some, I would say, more almost metaphysical questions, like if you were a VIP, who would that be? Yeah, to get also an understanding. Do we have a personality? Corporate personality, which we would like to be, who we would like to be. Other websites who we find very interesting, target groups, buyer personas, and also the competition. And after that, after the first wireframing or corporate identity workshop, the wireframing takes the stage, and we try to understand what kind of must-have pages do we have, products and services, company content, and something for the eye. So for example, if you have any filters, any case studies, any tools, sometimes also product finder, how to understand the complex products you might have, and then translate it into the existing sitemap, and then also try to analyze what kind of websites are not necessary anymore. Sometimes it's old blog pages, sometimes it's websites who don't get any traffic. Do we want to improve them? Do we want to keep them? And then it goes there accordingly, right? In the end, after the development, there's obviously also always the stakeholder feedback involved, and the relaunch and post-relaunch analysis. What sometimes is also quite interesting, if we take a look at the post-relaunch analysis, what we also like to use are tools like Hotjar, for example. Sometimes we find out, okay, there are some people clicking on images on things which look like CTAs, or where they would like to have more information, and then these results are used to work with our customers on the content or on the user flow on the website. Yeah, that's basically how we do these HubSpot CMS projects, and yeah, that's all about it. Do you have any questions about what we've heard? I just see that there are a couple of comments on the chat. Didn't check it yet. So let's see. Oh yeah, Zach, you already, okay, cool. Yeah, if you have any questions, for example, I just also had one recently. What about page speed and templates or HubSpot CMS? Well, first of all, the foundation is, I would say, couldn't be any better, because with Cloudflare and its content delivery network, we have a superb hosting, and you actually don't have to worry about it. So that's maybe also one thing you can keep in mind whenever you take HubSpot CMS. You can be completely sure that you have the best foundation there is, right? So you don't have to worry about it. Sometimes my impression or experience is that there are some templates within the HubSpot app marketplace which bring along a little bit too much weight. So page speed can suffer, but our impression is that if you use Rocket and Clean, you don't have to worry about it any much. But just to be sure, if you put a lot of videos, a lot of huge photos, a lot of text or whatsoever on a website, it will be slow as well, right? So this is also usually something where we as an agency try to step in and put our foot in the door and say, sorry, this is not a good idea if this website is important for your SEO strategy. Alrighty, any other questions? Or yeah, Paul, you are just wondering, would this still be faster than WP due to hosting on HubSpot and global CDN? I would say so, but this is also, that kind of matters if you have worldwide or more than just German website visitors coming to your website. So one good indication usually is, do you have more than one language on your website, be it English and German, for example? Because if you have international traffic, you want to make sure that this is a very, that they have the best website experience possible. And this is usually the case, I would say, with Cloudflare, definitely, yeah.
Hey, I'm going to add to that point really quick, because I have just something about speed and performance that I want to quickly mention. Generally, speed and performance is always super important for pages you're specifically optimizing for organic search. So like things like your homepage, yes, they should be fast, but generally speaking, you're not optimizing for like organic search for your homepage. So you really want to focus on pillar pages, blog content. And the fastest killers of performance, especially with HubSpots and really anything, are having forms, videos like Sebastian, and big images like Sebastian mentioned, but forms can really reduce performance. Smart content also takes a hit. And then things like chat widgets, those sorts of things that you might not think about on those pillar pages do slow things down. So I just want to like make mention of some of those things that Sebastian didn't quite talk about, because
Yeah,
it
thank you
can
very
be
much.
important.
Yeah. Basically, also anything dynamic, I would say. So sometimes it's also, yeah, anything that is included in there, which is supposed to be dynamically created, or yeah, tries to take some information out of the CRM in order to yeah, change the image of the website. Yeah, definitely.
And CTA's tool too can be a big hit. The newer tool is a bit better, especially if you use the embedded option, but the CTAs and CTA pop-ups can be a big hit too.
Yeah.
So don't make every single link in your footer a CTA, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Don't think you can just create a white background with a black headline, and the rest is yeah, a CTA or a chatbot. Yeah. Yeah, but it's also interesting because you mentioned it, Kevin. Not every website, not on every page on your website has to be important for SEO. And this is also something we usually recommend to keep an eye on, because, for example, the homepage is usually important for your brand keyword, and it shouldn't be hard to rank on number one, position one with your brand keywords. But everything else on the blog, as you mentioned, glossary, pillar pages, etc., then obviously is important. If you wonder if your website is quick enough, hopefully page speed insights by Google, GTmetrix, whatsoever, take these tools also into account and check these for your SEO strategy. All right. If there are no further questions, which are also thank you very much for your questions, for your reaction in the chat. I only have one last remark. There is the next one, our next HubSpot user group, very likely to be in German again, but if we have enough English visitors, you can also upvote our English HubSpot user group, obviously. Next will be on marketing and sales alignment. On Tuesday, I had the chance to talk to some guys in Berlin, in the Berlin headquarter of HubSpot, about marketing sales alignment. I will take a few bits and pieces from there and show on the next HubSpot user group, which you can already see over here. I just put it down in our chat, and if you're interested, you can obviously submit already right now. For any other questions in the future, you can always reach out to us, to Kevin and Bradley. Obviously, we are all on LinkedIn if you wonder where we are, but obviously you can also write an email to us, and I will forward it to Bradley and or Kevin if you have any questions. Otherwise, thank you very much again for you guys to come around at that early hour. I hope you have a good day. And yeah, thank you very much for your attention and for your contribution.
Awesome. Later, everyone. Thank you for your time.
Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Bye.